Okay. All right. So we are going to talk about some hot takes, some myths, and some falsehoods. Basically, why y'all are wrong about DevOps, except for me, right? My name is Matt Stratton. I'm on Twitter. So, just because something is on the internet does not mean it's true. I know it's really easy to get pulled into that, but we see a lot of things on the internet about DevOps, and you might be inclined to think that means it's a fact. But this is one thing to keep in mind. Putting words in random order is not thought leadership, except well, it kind of is, right? So that usually works out pretty well. That's a little bit how I actually do my job, and I, believe it or not, get paid for that. So here is the first myth that you may have heard. You may have heard people say that DevOps is more than just tools. I'm sorry to tell you that this is false, right? And here's why DevOps is not more than just tools. If it was more than just tools, why would we have so many of them? And nobody cares about your culture. And really, there are a lot of tools on DevOps Twitter. Some of them might be in the front row. You may have heard people tell you that DevOps is more than just automation. How many people have heard this before, right? People will say, it's not just about automation. The reality is, it really isn't more than just automation, and here's why. Because if we look at CAMs, A is the only vowel. And vowels are more important than consonants. Therefore, by science, automation is the most important. It's the only consonant, or the only vowel, okay? How many people have heard this? Oh, Kubernetes won't solve all your problems, you know. They'll tell you that. This is some grade A BS, I'm gonna tell you right here. And here's why. Okay, first of all, Kubernetes came from Google, right? Docker is boring and old. But most importantly, YAML shows your commitment to precision. You may have heard this one. If you DevOps, you still need testing. I mean, you know who tells you this? Testers, right? They're just trying to protect their job. And here's why this is not true. This is super untrue. I'm gonna bust this myth by pointing out to you the following. If you remove the human element, you remove all human error. And if your microservice does only one thing, it can't have an error because an error would be a second thing. And, okay, here we go. We get this a lot, and I work for a vendor, so this one bugs me that it's such a prevalent myth. People will tell you you can't buy DevOps, right? How many people have heard this? You can't buy DevOps. Okay, fair, but keep this in mind. You may not be able to buy it, but I sure can sell it to you. Seriously, I would love to sell you some DevOps. I mean, what do I have to do to get you into DevOps today, right? All right, this one is pretty contentious. We like to fight about this on Twitter. People will tell you that DevOps is not a title. I even used to believe this myth, but I've since learned that this is false, and here's why. Nobody can tell you what titles to use in your organization. I mean, I guess HR can. But what do they know anyway? All right, come on. I mean, laugh. It's funny. All right, so people will tell you that you can do DevOps in Windows. I mean, we even have like a open space about it. This is really not true. But there's reasons for that, right? It's not just me being, like a jerk, right? So the thing is, a key component of DevOps is a smug sense of self-satisfaction. And Windows is just click next stuff, right? And I don't know, something about /dot, gets in there. And finally, people will tell you this, and this is the most heinous myth of all, is that cats are more aligned with DevOps than dogs. They will tell you you can't do a talk about DevOps without cat gifs. And really, this is wrong because, I mean, look. Oh, exactly. Like, there's nothing more DevOps than this cute puppy, right? If you're going to take a picture of any slide at DevOps Days, it's this. This is what you bring back to your boss and say, look what I learned, right? So anyway, thank you very much. My name is Matt Stratton. I work at PagerDuty, and Pagey says thank you.